What is going on, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy Fight Night's Finest, the selfie commentator, coming at you with another Fight Night Champion online ranked match. Victor Ortiz versus Miguel Cotto. This match here specifically is not my greatest of gameplay. Unfortunately, my PS3 after 10 good long years has finally gave out, so I didn't have too many options in terms of the type of gameplay I could bring to you guys, but nevertheless I was just in the mood to make a video and wanted to share some gameplay with you guys. So in this particular matchup, getting past the power of Cotto was very difficult, to say the least. My strategy going in, considering the way my opponent was fighting, was to make it into the later rounds, and after surviving the onslaught, to begin to box more, to really be able to take advantage of the lack of stamina that will come from such a front running strategy of being offensive minded early and coming blazing out the gates with power shots, 3-4 punch combinations, and things of that nature. So early on, as you can see here, I'm playing pretty defensive, like standing by my guard, doing a little bit of clinching here, and we already got hurt severely, but that's one of the negatives that you have when you're playing a fighter such as Victor Ortiz, who does not have the greatest of chins and does not have the greatest of toughness ratings in the game. So I think this is another case of being able to recognize strengths and weaknesses and playing to those strengths and weaknesses. As you can see there, do a little bit of low blow. Wasn't trying to intentionally do that. I was just trying to switch stances. So my opponent is watching this, who was actually pretty cool after the fight, even said good fight, considering the way it ends. No spoilers intended. Back to what I was saying earlier though about playing to your strengths. I think that's a great thing that and not only in Fight Night Champion or just any video game, or even in fighting such as like MMA fighting or boxing or any type of combat sport, or just any sport in general. Actually, there comes a lot of moments where I feel people forget their win conditions and forget their identity as an athlete and even as a player in this specific case, because there's a video game that we are talking about. If you know you are have a boxer puncher style like mine, so I like to throw combinations, but I also like to be pretty tactical in what it is that I'm doing, and only starting to pour on the presser once I get a stamina advantage. That's always been the way I've played. I like to be defensively responsible and then become more offensive as I am done with my observations. After I proceed to download my opponent, I like to kick it up a notch and do what you see I'm doing here, seeing how they respond to different things. Like, yes, we was hurting around number one. We played a more passive role. We took a more of a backseat approach, and like I said, I'm playing to try to get to the later round. So it's also not important, to just say, okay, I want to play to the later round, so I'm not gonna throw any punches. No, I do the exact opposite, and it causes me here by getting stunned with an uppercut. We get hit with a triple right hook and go ahead and able to clinch and survive to the end of the second round. But I'm not gonna just take the alright, there's the passive approach that should get me to the later rounds. I took the time to pressure in that round to be able to see if my opponent is considering the long game. Is he considering how the fight is going to be able to go if this makes it into round 8, 9, or 10? And considering how offensive he was being, I didn't see that. So in round number 3 here, I'm going to continue to pressure because I want my opponent to get some sense of urgency, like he has to fight back. And by fighting back, by throwing more punches, by using more of his stamina, it's going to set me up to be in a position that I would like to be in. And sure, I'm getting hurt here in a lot of these rounds, but I have not been dropped yet, and I don't think he has the ability to finish based off the first 2 attempts to not be able to get any knockdowns. And sure, I was a bit fortunate not to suffer any critical stunts, like these have all been minor stunts, and that's definitely played a big role in me being able to survive. But if you've seen any of my past videos, that is something I'm very confident in, is my ability to come back from behind and win in the later rounds. So back to what I was saying earlier about people playing to their win conditions and playing towards or knowing their identity as a fighter or as a player or as an athlete. I think a lot of the times we get caught up in situations where it's like we're so focused on what's going on in the here and now that we develop this sense of urgency to go out there and do things that are counterintuitive towards our strategy and our strengths. And I encourage you, as a player of this game or as an athlete or anything, is to not forget who or what you are and the basics, and understanding like the fundamentals of what it is that makes you you. Because if you forget those things, it makes it very hard for you to ever be successful at anything, especially in this game here. If I just sit back and I let my opponent wail on me the whole time, with considering the amount of times that I have been stunned and I didn't take the time to pressure and work my strategy from a different angle, this fight can very well be over. Considering the strength advantage, considering the chin of Ortiz, the toughness, like all those things can come and play into a big factor of why I want to be able to survive to the later rounds. If I wasn't taking the time to invest in some body work here and there, and considering all the successful punches my opponent has been landing, I would not be working myself towards my own strategy. So even here in round number 4, we're having some success now. Like, we're the ones pressuring, we're the ones dictating how things are gonna go, and it's up to our opponent at this point to show a different dimension to his game, show that he has the ability to adapt and now fight under pressure. How will he respond to that? Yeah, we had some success with it in round number 3, and we started it in round number 2. We set up the building blocks, but considering how low his stamina is becoming, look how much more success we are starting to have. Sure, we're still getting tagged, we're still getting hit, but we were able to formulate some success that we were not able to do in the first 2 rounds. And here we almost get dropped, but once again, that inability to finish shows, and it's really an unfortunate situation for him. Some of these things, in my opinion, should be knockdowns, but even while being hurt, we were able to stay calm, show a little bit of finesse, show a little bit of composure, and get right back on him. Here we are on the inside, working the body, trying to continue to fight towards that strategy that we're having. I think another little important tip that I have for any of you guys watching this is to not get discouraged if something's not working. Like, I've always preached in my videos and like past videos, and pretty much since I started this channel, to not get discouraged. Like, it's only the first 4 rounds. You got so much fight left. If something's not working, sometimes you gotta believe. Like, you really gotta believe in that strategy, and maybe it can get you to somewhere. And maybe this isn't the greatest example of saying like, here's a strategy that's failing and eventually it's gonna work, but it's just the idea. It's just the believing in the idea long enough to see if it will be able to come to fruition. Because as you can see here, I still have all my stamina. Like, I believe so much in my win condition that I'm willing to sacrifice a couple of rounds, and I believe, like I always say, this will be my last round to lose at this point in any fight. When I get to round 5 in a fight, if I've lost all the previous rounds, this is my opportunity. Like, this is my last chance to put everything together and see if it can work. Like, you see me here now, I'm really starting to not pressure so much, but use a little bit more in and out movement and see if I can land some sharp, accurate shots and let that take me into the later round. So I'm doing my best here. Hold up. I had to sneeze, sorry about that. I'll do my best here to now land some accurate shots, and there it goes. Counter right hook to the head, sidestepping his combination, reading it, and getting the knockdown. It's not my favorite way to win by one punch knockout, but it's the only gameplay I've had, and like I said, I just wanted to make a video for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did and maybe learned something, go ahead and leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comment section, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. Link can be found in the description. It's been your boy, fighting his finest, the Sophie commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.